everybody. Of course, this is not a program where we always let you know answer for radio we call Give Sense to You. And this is not a program where they get a deep dive, look into issues of young people, and especially this from November 25th to the 10th of December, happen for be the 16 days of activism. And of course, we get a young advocates them, people them we don't do very well, not them little corners within day. And inside the on program, we discussion get from mainly focus on waiting next in regards to the movements after the 16 days of activism. And today in the studio are happy for share with we listeners them, we via them, we watch we live on Facebook and other platform them from Answer for Radio FM 100.5 and online TV. This evening, I want for I want to introduce the first guest where we get today on the our program. We get for do it Ambassador Idrissa Kabo, we happen for be the Global Youth Consortium Against Harmful Practices and are the country representative for Sierra Leone. So I'm for say good evening and welcome to this special edition of your program Kisses to you, Mr. Idrissa.
Yeah, good evening, listeners.
Okay. Right. So we don't get from one of we guess them. Of course, like you say, now experts. Whenever we talk about issues, we get for do with women and girls. And of course, we not make any mistake for get Ambassador Idrissa Kabo at the studio. We are for the Global Youth Consortium Against Harmful Practices and the country representative for can say Sierra Leone. And of course, in will be more in regards to the organization. But we also do it one of active woman. We also don't do very well. Also don't they do one or two things not in community, the society, or the environment where they live in regards to issues we get for do with woman them. But this honorable ambassador Awanatu Sise we are the founder and executive director of Positive Change Sierra Leone. But in going to this itself to we for people know the individual we get to become here the frame. Yeah.
Good evening, Mina Awanet, and Mina the founder and executive director of Positive Change Sierra Leone.
Thank you so much. Of course, Fambu Udoyegi from we guest them this evening. As I tell you, we not make any mistake for get young people like their wire away to do very well in the little corner where they day. And the topic for today, I want for reintegrate or one for we call them back here for do it waiting next from the movement after the 16 days of activism. Waiting next we follow as advocates or activists then. Of course, that's the focus where we get for today evening. And the 16 days of activism, then two guests there, I don't do very well. Then we'll get one or two activities and we'll call. But we will get some from them. I don't want to explain any much or anything we related today you will work with them personally. I want for encourage we listeners and viewers them from Answer for Radio and everybody will get to live on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn also in regards to what we discussed today. Remember, so yourself can be part of the program through number 08022000098 or 031784193, where you said will send a text or ask question or suggestion in regards to what we discussed this evening. And remember, say you can also do that there now with Facebook page where you go in the comment section and raise your comments, ask questions, or whatever thing in regards to what we discuss, mailing, and that's what we look for. So, for make we no waste time, of course, we're very sorry for keeping a long waiting on the program. We for start by 4, but since we are here already and we already get to guess them, I'm for say very sorry to we guess them for the time we spend. It has to do with technical issues. But I'll for start with Awanatu Sise, we na ambassador Awanatu Sise, we na the founder and executive director of Positive Changes Sierra Leone. And Ingotel is small in regards to organization And in regards to the 16 days of activism, how down they don't look like creativity on do till we reach the stage finally.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Positive changes in radio. Now youth-led grassroots organization where they empower and inspire young picking them want to go school and also the one they want to go school. We dey look at that picking them age 10 to 25 years. We dey work with picking them at school. We also dey work with picking at small communities them. We dey engage them in different activities, mentorship programs, counseling, and also they encourage them to let them focus on planning business. As we all know, the 16 days activism program now one of the global movements this way for young people like a starting point but not a finish point for me. So we believe say after the 16 days of activism, we still continue with the work. We look at the sustainability and also we dey look at the long-term impact of the create in the community and also the society. As we all know, say young people don't make duty for ensuring that within and if we want to more in terms of empowerment, in terms of creating awareness, and it becomes much more easier because now we use the digital platform for raise more awareness, engage stakeholders them from different communities, also they partner with schools, and also they create girls empowerment clubs at different schools them. So for positive changes in Leone, we get 7 to 8 girls empowerment clubs at different schools. The 16 years activism, we use that platform here to reach out to more girls. We engage them to keep their so let them know the importance of gender-based for let them put end gender-based violence. We also create the important for let them know say we need to work hand in hand as a team for put an end to gender-based violence, especially when you find out say like that picking a lady they go through so much torture. And at the end of the day, also everybody gets a voice for come out and say like this and this and this. But we want for them to understand say it's their rights, it's their responsibility for add their voice and ensure say like they have to then voice them. So we really dey engage that again, but that's not all the only thing we do. We also don reach out to community, engaging community stakeholders. Let them know say gender-based violence na bad thing. And no woman, no girl picking up for live in a community full of fear and also every girl picking for live in a kind of safer community, grow well and believe say and need for do something when you come back and benefit the community.
Right, thank you so much. Of course, when we say the 16 days of activism, this na an activity where people like-minded individuals who are activists like me and you, and also the international community we able to sit down and therefore pick days away. We want to say these are the specific days we will talk about issues them really related to woman them and girl picking them. And of course, for this year, as we from Madam Ambassador, I don't want for me to say ambassador because I don't want to make a comment here, then I get case. Of course, for go answer. But we from I'm waiting, you don't say in regards to waiting, then don't do. This year we focus on digital violence and of course digital safety one of the things that we people always can see like they are not important, but when we look at the digital, the social media, it is something we related to me your life. And when we say social media, it's like anything I post right now on social media, they explain who that be or which I don't do. So that's the thing where people they misunderstand. For see when we say social media, it's just like the same life we dey live. And for some other people, them can say, if I not go online for the days, that like say I not dey exist in the world. So that's it. So we focus on that particular one. We will come to Ambassador Awana to say, but for waiting don't tell we and waiting themselves don't do, I think it creates more for you when you listen, this self gets able for play. But for this important occasion, I also want for bringing excellent points, but we also want for bringing Idrissa, of course, inspiring and the commitment from the youth them. Now, let me also look at open floor for like let me open the floor in regards to discussion and waiting on some of the challenges that we you see say ahead and how then challenges that they will go able for overcome them. As anytime we look at issues related to women and the Global Youth Consortium from against the harmful practices that we not only work on and for quite some long time now. But how una think say these are the issues, and from the 16 days of activism, we not only do one or two things. So tell me small and in regards to the challenges, how not be able to
First of all, I want to know about Kuteki. I think this is the second time for that institution. And I have informed to my sister.
Yeah, ambassador, ambassador Irgisa, ambassador.
Yeah, I say so basically, this global call, most time it discovered a global call, where a very strong movement for I should say we collectively effort as young people, we look for utilize them well because following succeed is not about government, it's not about development partner, it's about all of us.
Yeah.
Following for utilizing space, the platform, support survivors, and other victims for HLC, they before we game and get the needed required support so that what the ground go through, they will recover from the challenges. It's very clear that in every society you also get um, some challenges where you face in as much as we do some little impacts, you also expect some challenges along the line. So for me, it's not about the 16 days. Yeah. Because we don't get into the game and we don't get series of challenges. More so we focus on the total elimination of the FGM. And this is a description of believe in something where culturally we believe on this thing. And for all we for move people from that concept and bring them to the reality, it takes a lot. And imagine if they do it cultural people who have mindset that stereotypical belief say this is it and it was believe
Now this will meet.
and we're not going to change. So in fact for many even forget many even accept that is a very clear challenge where we get before the 16 and during the 16 days. So even for me the other challenge we like I also identify over the years now the political will it's totally lacking when it comes to addressing issues that are affecting men and girls. Because even when I can get some international platform for talk and at local level, I already say this for we get um, an end to aging or gender-based violence, we just need one policy. Let the politician, the parliamentarian decision maker just come one day and pass one law. Therefore, to be able to, you know, even focus more. Because when they pass that law, for instance, no FGM, for example, no cutting. When they pass that law, nobody know the name. But most times, let's even look at them say, wait, if I pass this law, my political safety, how will you gain vote
People
for
that will
them?
vote for it.
So that also is a challenge from the side of the politicians. So we lack the political will as young people. Because if we get support from the politician, this is the end game of always we do so. Then the other challenge we get, we have young people who we get the passion, we get the commitment, the creativity. But when it comes to resources available for young people, like what Mrs. Tabi say, over the years they don't get challenged. The initiative they for instance even for reach out to marginalized communities, deprived community, picking the way like they get some challenges but you get the skills, you get the capacity. But when it comes to the resources, and some of them can only do, it takes resources. Even when you talk to some colleagues as members, the world of advocacy is about voluntary business. But in reality, now just few of people for realize that fact, yes, now sacrifice they do.
Sure.
So if you don't get the resources, it takes a lot of effort for you to mobilize three colleagues, many instead of going to side me and you to listen. So lack of resources is also another challenge. Then the other challenge we like around the discuss, yeah, around the silver years as well. We don't develop policy as well. but monitoring when it comes to the implementation of the laws there, it can lacking. I can set an example. I remember when I've been good at community about teenage pregnancy, despite the government not say, not say the people will level might at a younger age, you know, the issue that important to me. So I'll go for go get some findings and also do some reports. To the extent I was really, really surprised. The chief of the community say, hey, this is not family business. Now we never the people all set one. So even the leaders themselves also they post challenge to be. That's why we engage them. But there also comes the responsibility of we with young people, following for each out to the communities and they engage. Because one thing I also identify is the lack of the knowledge. Maybe we good in developing these policies, child rights policy, blah blah blah, what you call. But follow we localize them policies there. Not everybody will forget this book interpret them. But if we do them in our local language, talk them, many understand, it will also help for many local people there, with traditional people there, many people understand the concepts, actually government is and development partner as well as we as young people. I'm so happy, quite recently I've been again, we attend a 5 days comprehensive training on advocacy stuff. One key thing we learned from after all the comprehensive training for the 5 days, they select few of we who able for talk the impact of that thing in our different languages. I talk in my own language. Everybody can by talking your own language. For instance, we tell us to say, no cut, clitoris, this, that. That means mama within Arabic, we not to talk. That's what I tell them, say, sort of good that's it has to be practical. Want to hear them something. Lot of quality, and many people understand it next thing. So if you can ask me, there are a whole lot of challenges. Also, we need more effort for you to amplify and get some learnings there as well.
Thank you so much. One thing we are we are like I see Ambassador, I wanted to dey smile at the corner. One thing we look somehow one of the things that I think we interesting here for the how we able use we look at languages there. We look at tongues them for make we able to for make people able to understand within actually this or the messages that we send out for make people able to get the real stuff offer. That's it within Ambassador Elizabeth say. In regards to the harmful traditional practices, and we're going to talk of Bondo. Say, Mr. Blatimni, me not Timney man, not just me not Timney man. And when you say stop for cut click toys, it's like then they just play na the age or people them the traditional people them more say just music and then they just talk.
You don't even know what
You don't even know it's at all. But when you say but the but the not just say so very sorry for anyone we will see him in another way around, but let's call the spirits. There's a time we will not for anything again. Because one thing we are learn, Ambassador Awana too, for them we young brothers and sisters in the camp. If you not learn them, if you not teach them about waiting at harmful traditional practices, waiting at sexual intercourse, waiting at other things, if you not learn them, you go learn the other side. If you don't learn it from me colleagues, you learn it from me phone. If you learn it from me phone, you learn it from the community, the society where you dey. You must get one or two people already influence them. And you as a woman, you don't already observe. And these are the 16 days of activity. And these are one of the key things we ambassador already decided to for politics. How or what you self get in regards to what we saying.
For me, I've said because for long, I always tell people, for a local development, we need a collective effort. The only way I get anybody that the government will everything. And the thing that they fail to understand is the government can do everything. It's going to be a collective effort. Everybody gets a part for play for the ensure that it will be sustainable. Just like way all these NGOs, the international NGOs, and they can. Like how we help them this not like that. If we don't work together to ensure that that thing really can provide for it sustainable, then at the end of the day, it's not going to work. So, I also want to let people understand one thing again. Calling things by their names. People can just put it, culture and norms,
Yeah.
tradition. Now we all come together and build am. If we don't work on something for a long time and we see that that thing they don't create any impact in the need for change am. Bring new thing. Remember, these are the 21st century. Then it's also these are the Gen Z century. These are the most frustrating century ever because the beginning of
The most confused.
generation. So the industry people like spider, the beginners people like spider, they want everything. So as parents, I always, especially my back, you always tell us say one of the key things that you need to understand. Not of worry for buy five clothes, keep it, get good food for it or for make sure that picking come out fine. It takes a lot. So, I think say people that need for the call things by their name, people need for the ensure say that they do the right thing. We all need to come together as one people for they do the right thing, and that way they help government. Because seriously, my brother, even if we get now people dey complain say the government is the government that even if we get the government what we want, if we people that we waiting we need for them, it's not gonna work for them. So the challenges and just not way Ambassador Willie said challenges them so much. It's so much, but the problem now is how do we work out things? How do we bring solution for the just like all the challenges there so we try to reduce them, even though no way we put everything perfectly the way we want time. But how we going to reduce them? Some people don't make a habit now say domestic violence for them now must. For them like a must. And you know the kind of crazy thing about social media now? You will be listening to the television station, they hardly run well because of social media. Even television station right now, they get program, the first thing they remember when they begin to get bloggers them when they begin to post anything. So people take advantage of young people easily. I remember I see a video say a guy that's getting say in the post a particular picking in new picture online. If this picking not do waiting out or that pay him the money where he asked for. Remember somebody that you are dating at the end of the day, that is a small picking, yes. You see me they can post her online. Imagine the kind of trauma where this picking they go to. Imagine the kind of torture. Most of them videos as well they post online. Yes, people look at that as the best way for reduce waiting that they do. But it kills them like it really kills them inside because at the end of the day you see the kind of stress even the parents indirectly parents them go through trauma. So I know if you say everybody deserve to live in fear. I see another video where one man beats a woman say you just see the woman in face and waiting. People don't make an a habit say domestic violence are the best solution to the problem, and that is not how it's supposed to work. So for me, I just he always tell me I just too blunt with myself. Even the beginning never be blunt. I always tell us no no. That picking, especially woman, people are working, people are fish. If you don't get ice where they maintain, you nobody not wants you. The moment ice left you, that's it for you. That's where everything ends. So we need for the really they work hand in hand for them begin call things by their name for them. That is not all. He also measure for political leaders. Yeah. But you know, one of the most frustrating things
Those are the
about yes,
people when
these
we
are
talk
one of
of
the most
policy.
frustrating thing about salon politics. People are just too selfish within themselves. Sometimes we just need for do the right thing. I can always say die as a hero of change than you die as a corrupt leader. You say everybody will as they see cops swing on the streets. This person don't make so, this person don't make so. Waiting at the essence, as something there's a video where I watch where they talk about how Trinidad leaders see leadership as an honor for governing people. But for the recent one, them they see as a money making machine. They don't even care about rating people if they go to. For me, I always blood because I've seen pain coming from the slum, going from the slum as a young woman. I've been through so much torture. So looking at my politician in the face and telling them the right thing, I'm always ready for tell them. If una feel say most of the get to continue to send una pikin dem go overseas, then get a better life. We don't get no side for go. We only get here. We only don't put in power. How much time we are going to get for come on board and just say, really, we are doing the right thing. Yeah. So we are still calling on people. We need to come together. The change is now or never.
Of course, recently we see Una said we take a move more so one of the things that we every listener, everybody really watch we live on Facebook. I think this is a question, or can I just call on people? See yourself get the opportunity for make yourself the comments and also raise discussion or suggest in regards to what we dey discuss. One of the things the way we see una do, therefore do it for raise fund, raise materials, resources, so other things the way una think say una self will raise for make una able young girls them. And we are more focused on the girl picking them. And this is 16 years of activity. How was that?
It was one of the most frustrating things because that was the first time I even get involved into something like that. Then roaming the streets of Freetown with boxes and asking people, oh, please help. People will give 5 million, people will give 1 million, people will give 20 millions. And you know the crazy part of it all, you get certain people over there watching like, look at all the kind things that, which is the
Yeah.
sky idleness. But if you look at me, you know, feel so like, even if I idle, what fair won't do, better still take market put them in itself. But going out there, now for other people, and we're not able to do it, but they need the help.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, we could get a small money, buy things for them, for them ladies there. So go back. So with the common people, this is a collective effort. Everybody has a role to play. To ensure that Mama Salome become the best role we look out for.
Thank you so much. And of course, I think I can say in regards to when we look at the society or the community we live in, one of the best activity that one make. Call on people, reach out to people. But if it's you self capable give 1 million or 10 million for support, so picking we guess that we have or we want for help for making self wear clothes, with all the initiatives. Of course, within a country, maybe say for make able share one great idea, they expected to make other person understand. That's just it. But it is normal, of course, even to be safe as much about it. I think it's a good opportunity more to forget Una today. Ambassador, I wanted to end there from Ambassador Irisa. And if chef don't they not advocacy field, not to today. You don't take a long time, and Una don't do a lot. Imagine the things that we bring up. One thing we are learning from the political side, we ambassador are not also we talk on. And one of the things they get for with resources and knowledge of the people there. How people are able to understand, say, these are the activities. Then when we say 16 days of activity, these are the things we focus at. Or now this program they got. The idea not be, the understanding of it. But how you able to observe? Because I see a lot of flyers when you go on social media, I see a lot of engagements when you go on communities, but other things there. So how you think say for this year the message don't go? Or and una your organization, una you will una play.
Well, one of the things we it's good that the team itself focus on digital space. While we as young people still obviously for engage the media and even for broadcast the initiative they will get. Remember, we as young people we are very powerful issue. And for let change even for reflect, it has to do with the social involvement of young people. So we engage the social media um in different way. For we during the 60 days we engage on Zoom, Google Meets, online, in person. These are platforms they would utilize. Even Instagram, we engage, and various other platforms. Then there are more important thing we do for me, I think, is a very impactful that we not only focus on engaging real partners and salon. We ensure so that we can get a kind of sharing knowledge, bring other advocates from different countries, like Gambia, Ghana, Nigeria, because these guys are colleagues. We've met several times, so when once I need them, I will just say I need you for social platform, so they give me the space, so I can bring them in, share knowledge. So even when we some one of me colleague they share the challenge we get when it comes to the problem we get from the FGM, then we move on the from the arts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
2025
yeah,
right? Yeah.
exactly. Sure. The lady from Gambia, Sarata, share how then and Gambia even for engage the parliament to be specific, then for pass the acts. So these are ways we'll be engaged. Then we also do an exercise yeah, it's good for engaging media, but how the question we can only ask, how many people will get access to media? You know, media specifically, for instance, YouTube, we go Facebook, Instagram, all of them things in the Zoom. But me uncle or me mama or me grandmother in Arab village only get access to smartphone. No go actually know the impact or the importance of the 60 days. So we also engage in person discussion with the communities. The same message we pass on the media and the same message that we engage with community people may not the reality. Like I just made mention earlier that we localize the message. That's made even more how what has 16 you will be surprised that for anything, majority of we people in Arab believe in way before with not 16 about it. Why this is important? How long the middle is it? When and when it start and when it can end. But when we put on to that local language, you need to understand the knowledge gap only grows. That until we say we only focus for engage in cities or bigger communities or urban setting, not in most communities. For me, I can only talk as in I didn't think that can mostly happen. That we go ahead and engage. Because some of them people are not can get the knowledge. But when we go to the community, we tell them in talk and local language, they able to understand that actually what we tell for us. And even we also end up engaging with development partners, tell them say the 16 days not for only and after the 10th of December. It has more
It is a continuous process.
yeah, sure. So we also develop some kind of activities where we engage from now to the January, February, we talk to March. So because if you know we start a fight after the 16, you say
Yeah.
you don't know. Meaning you just go start, you know, even end down. So
So
let it
don't say don't
be,
shoot once
yeah,
yeah,
let
man,
it
don't die
no,
fight.
let the engagement only start after the 16.
Yeah.
Let it go beyond 16 days. And me, I believe in the idea of say me activism no focus on just 16 days.
Yeah.
Before the 16 days I can go on. During 16 days I can go and after 16 days I
After
can
you
go.
shoot.
Because it's not only the 16 days, 9 days that can happen. Days that could happen way back before the 16 days. They can happen during the 16 days. And after the 16 days they can happen. So that's either they tell you say we still get responsibility after the 16 days actually. Now we continue to engage with development partners. Now we continue to engage governments. Now we continue to engage local leaders. And we as young people, now we continue to develop ideas as to how we attack the issues there and against them. Because for attack there is one. And how for him for solving problem is one. Because I remember when I been marking on the Thierry Valley before, one thing we somebody will ask questions, see, when you go to the communities there, at times the people will listen to you, not only most way to wave jam or that the sexual penetration or not the time for the sick. But we as youth activists to advocate, we also get a gap to research that you know for people who spend some time studying role of advocacy, we get what we call community entry points. You know, how they influence the engagement people in. Most times when I can get activities at community level, I can use now the as I look at the particular community where they go, I use now the township or the village. And the Hanover myself will be consistent. You know, so like also is blessing for me for protection and all.
Yeah.
So in keep out on the message. I guess things that in my community then they on now this community
yes,
for
yes.
many days and so propose any therefore. That one is very clear. So sometimes we also miss that gap there. What are we also going to engage with young colleagues then when they understand the entry points when it comes to implementation of activities, when it comes to community engagement and for entry points or community approach to get some full of impact to the place. So these are the things we that normally we don't even work in 60 days and after the 60 days we want to engage with as well.
Okay. I think it's a continuous process as we know here from we brother when Ambassador Elisa Cabo from Global Youth Consortium against harmful practices. Of course, I know the country representative, I they represent SAMU. And of course, when you talk of international partners or donors, I think he make no mistake because then know they engage, then they get a kind of that big platform for people to engage, or also share ideas with other counterpart. Then I think it's very important. But Ambassador Elisa, when it comes to issues like harmful traditional practice, we get a fixed people, we get a fixed mindset, and when we say growth, we get a kind of growth where we say everybody, okay, this is a learning process. You get that kind of temporal way where you think say, these are just issues the way they happen along the process, along the line, but I have more to do. And that's what exactly you already put it. But let me look at the issue of working together. Of course, here is our Matu. Here is Ambassador English. Here is another. Here is another partner. Can we say, okay, moving women for sustainable development? That's something to do very well. But how you think, see, working together as partners, as organizations, it will create more impact because you'd already been an international space.
Well, I always get this concept as young person, and I believe in that networking is a very powerful weapon. You know, when I come in, I not meet me, we begin like to talk on issues.
So,
And then,
I
yeah,
get a
there
kind
are,
of
there are,
discussion.
there are a lot of things that we bring up. We allow so much for now.
Okay.
And when you say we discuss, it's a lot of things on. So that will clearly tells you teamwork, networking, collaboration, na effective tool wey we as young people for utilize. Yeah. Because over time we we dey miss some of we points or some of we targets as young people because we want for just say na me
We are
me,
all sides.
you understand?
Sure.
Me this, and that is not the way. So for us we succeed, na im make we get to for partnership, networking, collaboration as well.
Yeah.
Because for instance, if we get a particular problem, yeah, was say FGM Gondo as a case study.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me I want to meet, woman, I mean a man, and he gets a vast knowledge when it comes to FGM Gondo business. And for instance, if we know a specific community, when we ready for talk, I can say I want to go meet that man, we talk to them. That man will get more space for you to talk to am also. Because na him company man. So if me go dey go they no go talk to me. So you see the impact of teamwork, you see the impact of network, you see the impact of collaboration as people. So networking can help with a whole lot. You understand?
Yeah.
Like I made mention when I get me Zoom meeting, I invite various people in from different countries, what to share and what to be action points. They could help. Then share their own we are getting from them. Me said share you at country level,
Yes,
where they also
people
gain
learn,
from it.
yeah.
So I also key appreciate like UNFK. For the past 2 years we like I've been on the sub now the regional office as a vocal person for young people. Where who gets what I can call a group what I call regional youth engagement reference group.
Okay.
Regional youth engagement reference. We are a team of young people, like-minded individuals,
Platform.
we live for discourse on critical issues and provide solutions and recommendations to UNFPA at Wakao. For instance, we get some policies that we maybe not favor we as young people. We can call it attention. The platform these are the challenges that we get. Quite recently, they engage we, remember as young as a regional youth engagement reference, they engage we on a Zoom meeting within the different countries they represent. We one organization we call Equality Now with in partnership with UNFPA, they engage me. So they bring different young people to discuss on different issues. So that intergenerational discussion will get. You understand? We look for a whole of things. We look for share a whole of experience. You look for come up with recommendation and action point. And at the end of the year, we get propose activities to ourselves. Just after the 60 days, we keep up with the activities.
Sure. Thank you so much. Of course, I don't learn a lot. Sometimes it is good for make we also bring people and we don't do one or two things in the communities. Of course, we know they see you where they do the thing, they see the impact. But there are people where they are. Like for example, at they go now, I they go straight. Like for example, I'm moving from Musasido. I know they see or I know they know what they happen from the back. But there are people who they watch. And it's fine sometimes for me. What we they do, we know they see them, but the kind of impact we don't really create that society. From all the moves them, can I say that's also the influence change and also the influence policies, and in the country where you did and also the globe. Can I say also even in Africa also that need create because you input and one thing we actually always like I always proud of Sierra Leoneans. And for example, I'm a Sierra Leonean, and he said we did you always create that time for make you also think issues really affect young people. And especially traditional practices or harmful practices, you always be an advocate who also stand before in all the issues that we will address. Of course, the power of young people for make we all join hands together. I think it's something we need just for also add for example, they say anything way they say you get underlining word, you get keyword. So me I dey underline this one, Ambassador Awanatu. This is it. Of course, of course, this is the work of Ambassador Idrissa, Global Youth Consortium against harmful practices. And of course, the founder and executive director for Positive Changes CLA. And if you hear me, something like this, they come up from a young person, Ambassador Idrissa, from your side, being an executive officer. Okay, let's say executive director. Sorry for the officer, so but how you think say young people are also able to impact or able to create change in that society?
All right, so first, just like Masculine this again, it's all about teamwork. Like I say, one and two and a bit level.
Sure.
So having more than one or two people for come together, it helps for reduce the workload of the person.
Yeah.
As a side that I'm on maybe 50. So it means like if we only come together, then again we can rather than one way, we need to create change by working together hand in hand. As long as we all get the same vision and we work towards one goal.
Yeah.
Another thing we can able to do again for kids, and for me, I don't feel likely we get young people when it comes fresh energy to it and then chasing the living board. So we just need to let people understand, say things can change. Changes always they happen. The only side change is not within our doing that and you don't change no day. But as long as you are alive and you're kicking, there's always possibility
Cannot
for
lie.
change. So concerning this all like people don't make an now habits because I don't do this thing for so many years. They don't they within me now. It's become very difficult for me to change. Then the key is where I make you find out so that most of the young people are not moving from one stage to the other because we have that part of it. So the mind, if you don't begin think laziness within the mind, then I'm waiting it transfer to the body and the action all will become very dull. So we create more impact by creating more ideas, changing the narrative, changing the mindset of people, allow people to begin think freshly, think about something where will drive change, think about something where will become more sustainable for young people, for them to push the whole country to before. We can also try for work with community stakeholders. I like the part where Ambassador we talk about having Ambassador Idris talk about when you reach in a community.
Yeah.
If you really want to get the results where you do out for the first thing you need for do engage the one way all the community. Yes, then at the end point, but then people they go try for reach out to all other people that would they serve the partner with the community Now get a roundtable discussion, till it's not this and this weekend. So the community stakeholders are one of the key um we key handle them in terms of development and change because they're able to create the change where they look out for. If you see things go bad in the community, that means some of them community stakeholders will handle it. Because like in most of them community setting, they get so many voice, they keep them voice very they just let me get the president, whatever is said, then I find out. Then I have most of them community stakeholders there. So for let things to work well, them voice them, people always they listen to them, whatever they say, they keep well. So even for this FGM, for it to be more effective, community stakeholders need to work like we need to work hand in hand with community stakeholders there. So we need for them to understand say things are changed. All their laws they are so and we come together and make up. But if their law they are so they affect the beginning now then it means say we need for work together for just like it's there for end so the things that when are the bad things they still move on with the same one society. If the cutting the issues then the need for even the cutting is still in the society will still enjoyable and make it's a learning process really for that day. Like you say, why did you say we for the now because we have to really for learn how to behave like a woman, how for cook, how for look at some of your responsibility when you for do when you go up or when you don't start get your and man you don't start man you don't anything. Then I'm going to keep me on the tell me about small society. I don't know if you because I never tell this here I'm waiting so. But
But if they ask you right now, say if you want for more.
if they ask me to hang on, I know to say I need one from a people society because the problem is I love everybody.
Yeah.
I love everybody and even the pain who say they beat me first, they pain me.
So they don't tell you, they tell you say they can beat there.
No, wait I mean first of all, somebody beats me. I don't know when last they beat me. That one they pay me talking about hurting. It's gonna kill me. With pain and torture.
Anyways.
So we still continue to create more impact and different needs. We need for the old workshop. Get community workshop. So we'll get young people and we're ready for bring change and the community, engage them, therefore build their capacity, build them with knowledge that even if we're not there for good and then community, then we're able to take up the responsibility for the create more awareness in the community.
Thank you so much. Of course, I learn every day. I can always say this because one thing we always do fruits in me to do list. Not that every day I learn. Yeah. Um, you get the perspective. You get the way you take things. You get the way you learn something. But everybody gets in your own different way how you think or something. So I don't learn a lot from your work and from Masilady said in work in regards to always really do in our society. Of course, we are all activists because we all get one or two platforms the way we think the way we reach them when it comes to issues of women or issues of girl picking them or picking themselves or young people, we all they talk. We know they just say becoming a journalist or becoming a this or mean a that. But it's not something where you watch it any other way around. The circle, it come back to you. So it is item to make when you get a platform, you make use of them. But here is the question we want for us too. Of course, we say for the program, but another question we have just want for ask now too. Is there is the platform already created, already there for young people or not? What do you think?
Okay, I feel the platform is there already. We just need for a just to make use of the platform. Can be more flesh, juicy ideas to push that platform for structurally. So the platform is there for people. Like for me, I believe in collaboration, I believe in teamwork, I believe in coming with fresh ideas, see how we all can work together. The thing again where I think the platform would day, the initiative would day, but implementation is another problem. And the resourcing is another problem.
Yeah.
So if we all able to have some of them after there, so then it's going to be much more easier for us to do the right thing.
Okay. One of the things let's say already the platform lady, but our young people are already or also be able to grab that kind of platform. I'm not sure this.
Well, like Mrs. Made mention the platform there, but for me also, have a look at say the availability of the resources for the young people able for utilize the platform, also a gap still remain. So there comes the responsibility for the side of the government, development partner, and we as young people, because the creativity, the knowledge, the passion, the commitment, the for you for pass on some of the information there we needed to the community. How will we pass on the information there if we won't get the actual resources we needed? Yeah. I remember, like for instance, Global Network being provide a kind of capacity building training for young people for grassroots organizations and also provide funds to them for instance 20,000 euros. So it's for each of the organizations there in the different communities, maybe for just one or two activities at community level. So Lord just like say you will forget a guy who supporting me on normal basis where young people get kind 20, 30, 40,000 coming in just one or two coin engagement. If that really come, it also give more zeal to young people for you before engage the young people because one thing we happy, we also look at and say progress has been made and success also don't need day. And the fact that we young people don't need take the space. Yeah. I remember way back before this time, some of us will be like there, primary school, going to the NGSS one. Now just few people are into a lot of advocacy. The one will be there now, some of them maybe they're only 50, going to 40 years. Now they don't want to be the big sure about advocacy. So the impacts are very limited. But for now, we want to take the space as young people. This is somebody who just after university or before university in the terms of creative organization. Yeah. No matter how small, but you must get impact to the partner. You must get one or change to change to the partner community. So we need for team up. The platform day, we need for team up. We just need for a very creativity and think how best to able for develop the ideas and you put them into pen and paper, even for present to maybe partners, donors, governments, maybe for bank. Then in as much as the platform day, we also call on governments, maybe for like ready for support switch. Because if they're not support free, despite you get a platform, if they're not ready for support free, whatever you change before reflect, it will be very, very challenging. Like I remember when I began an activity in Apollo on June 16th, you know, I invite different partners, different development partners, policy makers, down to a member of parliament. You know, I find out say most of the partners they were invited attend events, but the member of parliament no attend. Sure. So you see what is the political will of the politician per day. If they want them for be there, they can't talk to the people. They think of
Able to
people
understand, yeah.
you see, but we dey continue to engage. We not go just sit down say because I don't invite and see, and I don't go invite again. I mean, most of the activities where they do, I make sure I've been one of the policy makers and then can make statements. The same event, what I do, I also invite a barista. He go, he make a policy statement. He make commitments, say, yeah, he's ready for it. So say, he join the young people and make the initiative at community level. So these are the things we will just need from the space they follow each like the space as well.
Very correct. The space already there we go and grab am. And I think now a status wherein we not just go sit down and watch wetin dey happen, but we self get a role for play. We all get a role for play. We all get a step for take. I think I be just one for play justice to we listeners and viewers and really listen to we the program. Of course, I want for just bring it on to 10 messages. And of course, this one say this year's campaign has reminded us that ending violence requires collective actions, strong laws, and unwavering commitments. Let us not stop here. Let us continue to educate, engage, and empower because every day is a day to speak out, protect, and support survivors. And this other one they say, um, as we mark the final day, as we mark the final day of the 16 days of activity, Of course, all organizations or youth or female or women-led organizations have a role to play. But please, let's also not forget we have a young generation that is coming up that's already open up to the digital world. What can we do as advocates? I think this is a general question the person asks. Can also this one they say, as young advocates, you did very well in your communities, but also what remains has to do with commitments to amplify voices, voices challenging harmful norms and standing with every woman or every woman and girl whose rights have been violated. I think this person will be able for sending them. But also one for also check on the Facebook, comment them, and this one say this one comes from um Kano Mohammed. He say continue the good job. And this one say continue the good work from Prince Alma. And this one say you guys are doing extremely well, especially our ambassadors in the studios. I think this not just few text messages from the young program, but I want to start uh, with him. Ambassador from the yeah. Maybe you will respond and from there you will for last message or take home package.
For the just a very short statement for young people that moving out here. I continue to say this. These are the collective efforts. No one just wait and depend for government to do everything. They can't do everything. We all need to work together as one and ensure that we do the right thing because whatever that is going on really suffer more. We they get all the pain, the torture, and the trauma. So if we wait for government to do everything for me, then that means we still dey continue for the suffer life.
Yeah.
And
Say
if
about the question the person asked, say what we going to do because we already the generation will be already exposed to the digital space.
so it's gonna be a continuous sensitization. Like for me now, I get girls club that differently in school. Coming January, mid of January, and I get a 2 days workshop because each of my girls club, I get one volunteer. We come off from different school. Now you know, say like them clearly can see twice, right?
Sure.
And now after the final exam, most of them are in the school. So most of them just done a also in United. So I use that platform differential so that I can engage them. That they come in as a volunteer. How will they come in as a volunteer? We target them for reach out to more schools, both boys and girls school, but no engagement only for girls. So then they go as volunteers, they engage and talk with them. So these are one thing we need to do. It's a continuous sensitization. That means saying mama or papa or brother we all need for joining for they create more awareness for them between their so because the digital world yeah, one thing about which I don't have to understand the disadvantage people are using in a more disadvantage way than even the advantages of the way you can benefit from. People are just feeling like the digital world only meant for people for the frustrate people and use that in a different way for make you even make that most you know even see set one is so people are using a more crazy way than ways we make benefits, make a lot out of that social media. So another thing that is saying now, this is going for parents out there, especially the mama they may get time with the kid. Get enough time for the talk to the kid. The kid let you be your party, let you kid confide in you, things that really affect them. Most of all, that kid don't start habits where unknowing to the parents most of una pikin dey don start my business unknowing to una the parents dem. So one thing you I can always say you pikin na investment, you pikin na your old age. If you allow old age fail you, then na so you go die. So again, we always look at am. The one thing again we need for cut down on, if dem don implement that style wherein Togeda dem say wey you never see pikin baba, you dey beat am say go tell your mama. But now when you touch your pikin say nobody don get right to touch your pikin, that dey make things again dey comot bad for pikin dem. So please, we continue to raise more awareness. Just like when they say 16 days activism, after the 16 days, what's next? It means say we look at sustainability. It means say we look at the long-term impact and long-term change we will create like community. So we still continue to create more awareness on everybody. It's your responsibility for ensuring that we able to get them again there so in the right way.
Thank you so much because we've learned a lot. That's why we'll take up from you and I will say that to others and maybe so.
Me, today will be the end day of the 60 days. I said, but still to the end of the efforts and work as young people and as stakeholders as well. Um, Let we all remember that every girl deserves safety. Then let me also remember that every woman so far deserves justice. Then let us remember that every survivor so far deserves support. Then lastly, let me also remember say every point, every country, every nation deserves peace. So we as young people, let we continue and let we renew the commitments for ensure say we amplify the work. For ensure say we voice which to that point we know issues. And we still get more lot of things from we renew with commitments, we develop new initiatives, we engage the media space, we engage in person, then we engage policy makers then. This fight no will end today, but will start on today. Just as we can say, we as young people, we not to leader for tomorrow. We already don't be leader for today. So if we don't be leader for today, let me ensure we take responsibility to the best of our ability. Like
Thank you so much. Of course, Famul, we don't learn a lot and one for say plenty thank you to we guests them. Of course, I can say I not like forget grade or for rate I mean way. Maybe these are the best program, but I just left and so one of the listeners many years I'm not going so we say yes. It's kind of a bingo program we don't do this evening. All us to do it on the 16 days of activity as a focus for this week, say what's next for the movement after the 16 days of activism. And of course, we already get more ideas, more plans, and more action point the way we think say we need for take from this stage. And sitting at the final day for the 16 days of activism. And of course, we already know what young people and self-care will do. And we don't inform them, the two guests them say, this is not to the end. This is not a day we for start now and refresh ourselves for the movement we get from today. Say go. Imagine the 16 days of now, but we get more zeal for able to do more. I also appreciate the two guests that we get today on the program or from GSS to youth. We can always reaching our of PDF 100.5 and online TV. And of course, so we get them today where we get Ambassador Awana to say we are for the founder and executive director of Positive Changes now Salud and also Ambassador Idrissa Kabwe from the Global Youth Consortium Against Harmful Practices and also in Apple for being the country representative. And one for appreciate everybody. We don't follow the program. We don't like and comment. Also, don't send response or suggestions in regards to what we don't discuss. We appreciate you now. Without you now, we're not able to do one or two things. But please, we all get a role for play as we are from the guests them. Let me continue for share. Let me continue for engage young people. If now you get to corner, you get a role for play. Please, let me not just stop there. One for appreciate and for video, the management and staff of the radio and the online TV for giving us this time. And remember, see, me will host the program. Me and Arnold Kids, we're not going to forget myself. And so we IT person we brother there's a way Ibrahim Masari we always dey make for make una see. And so we executive producer Madam Maria Makaifona and also the CEO for Moving Women for Sustainable Development. And so all the staff there, one for appreciate una, one for tell una plenty thank you for make una give una time for listening to the program. Tata till next can I say on Friday or Saturday now we get another fresh cast of the key says to you with a issue now for myself for Tata till next week.